The Velveteen Dream tweets out to All Elite Wrestling following his match at TakeOver 25 with Tyler Breeze. What did he say? What do I think about it? We'll talk about it right here on the podcast. Also, Adam Cole and Shayna Baszler, are they set to have their careers ruined by a main roster demotion? Also, Matt Riddle seems to be in high favor with main roster management. Is a call-up imminent for the original bro? All this plus so much more right here for NXT on Off the Script.
Delete! This is mine.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on the podcast. It is Wednesday, June 5th, 2019, and I got a little bit of NXT for you following that amazing NXT Takeover 25 pay-per-view that we seen on Saturday night. Not much of an NXT show tonight, which is usually just highlights from the pay-per-view with a few matches sprinkled in that really don't mean much of anything. So what I usually do is I take all of the news and rumors coming out of that pay-per-view and I save it for Wednesday so I have a podcast to give you guys. What a concept! Thinking ahead. Clearly something Vince McMahon knows nothing about. I also got news on WWE changing several NXT superstars' names, one of them including Eric Bugenhagen. The Bugenhagen train is no more, folks. I got sad news on Eric Bugenhagen plus others who had their name changed. We'll talk about Matt Riddle. We'll talk about the possible impending call-ups of Adam Cole and Shayna Baszler, which really doesn't make any sense, being that they're both champions. I also got news on Bobby Fish and why he came out with his arm in a sling in the TakeOver main event when Adam Cole defeated Johnny Gargano. And where was Vince McMahon during NXT TakeOver 25, being that Bridgeport, Connecticut is only a 30-minute drive from good old Greenwich, Connecticut. Where was he and what was he doing? I got news on all that right here on the podcast, guys. First of all, before we get into what I usually do to begin these shows, yes, I know. I have to watch Juice Robinson versus Jon Moxley at the Best of the Super Juniors for New Japan Pro Wrestling, where Jon Moxley, and this is a spoiler, I'll give you guys 3 seconds while I take a sip of my coffee here if you have not seen it, because I know there'll be some fucking idiot in the comments. Why did you ruin it? You got 3 seconds. So good, man. So good. That's coffee, Alexa Bliss, not whatever the fuck you're drinking on Monday nights. I don't know what the fuck you're drinking on Monday nights, but what you need to be drinking is 99 bananas to fucking just go out of your mind and forget everything that happened on Monday night, because it's that fucking terrible. Jon Moxley won the IWGP United States Championship in what I am hearing was a fantastic match. In what I am hearing from a lot of you guys is one of the best matches in pro wrestling all year. So I will watch that, and the Will Ospreay match that you guys conveniently tagged along with that, I have to watch. I will talk about both of those matches on Off the Script this weekend. I will not be watching the entire show. I know, I should, but I'm not going to because I have to record Off the Script for Friday tomorrow. I have Super Showdown on Friday, whoop-de-fucking-do, and I have to get ready for House of Glory on Saturday night, and I have to finish my notes for that show because I'll be calling the Lucha Brothers versus LAX for the House of Glory Tag Team Championships, man. I can't wait. Going to be a fantastic show on Saturday night, but I will talk about this Moxley, Juice Robinson, IWGP United States Championship match on Friday for Off the Script. Speaking of Off the Script, if you guys missed any of my videos this week, make sure you guys go and check that out. Parts 1 and 2 of Off the Script on Friday and Saturday. Go check them out. They're there in the annotation that you see in the top right corner. NXT Takeover 25, we covered it. Over 36,000 views. Probably the highest rated, believe it or not, the highest rated NXT Takeover that I've ever done for a review. And that's amazing, being that it was only a standalone show with no other pay-per-view around it, man. That goes to show you I'm a very analytic person. That goes to show you that NXT is coming into its own as its own brand, and it doesn't need to tag along with WWE. I hope that is a thing that Triple H continues to do in the future, man. But I know that they won't do it with the Big Five or the Big Four, whatever the fuck they're doing nowadays. Clearly, NXT is going to be tagging along, but a couple of standalone shows during the year, rounding out to 5 or 6 for the year, I'm okay with that, man. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Raw and SmackDown live on the channel as well. The bait and switch, the Saudi edition, my bold prediction for Saudi Arabia. Will Brock Lesnar unify both world championships? We talk about it. And Goldberg and The Undertaker give away half of their match at the end of SmackDown Live on Tuesday. Wow. Great. So now we only have a spear, a jackhammer, a tombstone, and a chokeslam, and maybe an old school thrown in there to look forward to on Friday afternoon. Great job, WWE. Great job. Everything you need is linked in the annotation in the top right corner of the screen. Follow me on social media. JD from NY206 on both Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. We are halfway there to 111,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so very much. Can we get to 120 before SummerSlam? That would be a very lofty goal, but one that I think we can accomplish. My goal for the end of the year really was 125. I'd love to come as close to that as possible for the remainder of the year, man. Thank you guys so very much for all your support. Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. It's completely optional, and it's the only way to get exclusive content not available on YouTube. So thank you so very much for all you patrons out there. I love each and every one of you. You guys, if you're listening to me on Patreon, you guys get the audio version of this podcast every single week, man. So thank you guys so very much. I love you, and I don't know what I would do without you. This podcast tonight's brought to you by Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript. You guys are actually going to get 30 days free of their service, and that includes one free audiobook of your choice. audibletrial.com/offthescript is our unique link. You're going to go through the sign-up process. You're not going to be billed, and it's compatible with iPhone or Android devices, so whether you have a Google phone or an Apple iPhone, you're good to go, and the app is free. Go through the sign-up process. Again, you will not be billed. You got 30 days to browse their service, free of charge. And as a thank you, Audible's going to give you one free audiobook of your choice. Over 200,000 different choices to choose from, a lot of which are sports and wrestling related. Here's the best part. Once you do all that and you get your free audiobook, if you decide in any way, shape, or form that Audible's not for you, you can cancel in that 30 days and keep your audiobook for free. So you can cancel on day 1, you can cancel on day 8, you can cancel on day 30, and you still get to keep your audiobook for free. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/offthescript. Man, I'm thinking back to what I said a little bit ago about Alexa Bliss needing to substitute her Alexa Bliss coffee for 99 bananas. Have you guys ever had fucking 99 bananas, man? What a nasty fucking liquor. I remember back in college, that was the thing to drink. Everybody thought they were cool. Hey man, you want to mix this with 99 bananas? Ever have that shit straight? Never again in my entire life after my college days did I even touch 99 bananas. Holy shit. I'm a man of quality and taste in my older age, man. Give me a break, 99 bananas. Fuck out of here. Anyway, let's get into the news, man. We'll start off with Adam Cole. Adam Cole is your new NXT World Heavyweight Champion. Heavyweight? He's 190 pounds and a vanilla midget, man. Adam Cole is your NXT Champion. But is he going to get called up to the main roster? Is his career in NXT over? Are WWE going to push him to AEW sooner rather than later? We'll see what happens. It's no coincidence that Britt Baker is the face of the AEW women's division. She was actually in attendance at TakeOver 25. So that would lend to the credibility of Adam Cole winning the NXT Championship. And I also mentioned it was his time. It was Adam Cole's time. Adam Cole has been a victim of just bad timing. Whether it was Drew McIntyre, Andrade Cien Almas, Aleister Black, the entire feud with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole was supposed to be a world champion way before he won it on Saturday night. Thank God Ricochet and the North American Championship were created, because that gave him something to do and hold him over until his moment finally arrived, and he did it on Saturday night in Bridgeport, Connecticut at TakeOver 25. Yes, I'm upset that Johnny Gargano lost the championship. Yes, I am very upset that Johnny Gargano, this is the second championship that he's won that he has not had the opportunity to actually defend. But Triple H loves Johnny Gargano, and he is in good hands with Papa H. Adam Cole implies that he does not want to jump to the main roster without Undisputed Era. It was reported by Dave Meltzer this week that WWE officials are high on both Adam Cole, the NXT champion, and women's champion Shayna Baszler, with both being next in line for call-ups to the main roster. This was preceded by a report that suggested there was talk backstage within WWE of having Matt Riddle and other NXT stars make their main roster debuts as part of the 50-man Battle Royal at WWE's Saudi Arabia Super Showdown pay-per-view. Now, while it is reported that Adam Cole was being groomed for a main roster call-up, there was no mention of his Undisputed Era stablemates, hinting at a potential breakup for the group. Now, while on this topic of his partnership with Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong and why it works, Adam Cole had the following to say, and I quote, "I've been close friends with these guys for years and years. We talk literally every day. People really seem to gravitate towards a group of guys who have the same mindset, same attitude, and are passionate about this job. People love groups, and they certainly have loved and attached themselves to the Undisputed Era." Cole then implied that he does not want to split up the Undisputed Era if he moves up to Raw or SmackDown, and even hinted at not actually wanting to go to the main roster at all when saying this, and I quote, "If it's up to us, we're not going anywhere," end quote. Because WWE main roster sucks, and Adam Cole certainly knows that. Everybody knows NXT is better than the main roster. Adam Cole knows it, Undisputed Era knows it, you know it, I know it, everybody knows it. They just refuse to believe in it. There's no word on when exactly Cole, or Baszler for that matter, might be getting called up. However, the logical time would be following TakeOver Toronto, allowing both Adam and Shayna Baszler to drop their respective championships at the Black and Gold brand's next big show. That is SummerSlam weekend. I could see Adam Cole dropping the title to Matt Riddle, and I could see Shayna Baszler dropping the title to either Io Shirai or Candice LeRae in Toronto. Now, I don't know why we're talking about this now. First of all, let me even backtrack before that. I don't know why we're talking about Adam Cole specifically and only Adam Cole. If you're going to bring up Adam Cole, you got to bring up everybody else. And this fears everybody. This strikes fear into the heart of everybody. I get fucking cold chills thinking about all four of these men on the main roster. Now, yes, Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era would go great in a feud with another stable, but the Shield is not there. The Club was never a thing. The New Day is the only stable right now in WWE, if you even want to call them that could potentially go up against the Undisputed Era. And man, what great matches they would have for the Tag Team Championship. Why would you call up the Undisputed Era when WWE has absolutely zero tag teams? You do realize that they're not even using the War Raiders on television after such a great year in NXT. You're going to expect any different with the Undisputed Era? Why would you bestow this fucking terrible situation upon all four of these guys who absolutely are the lifeblood, the heart and soul of NXT? Why are you calling up Adam Cole or thinking about calling up Adam Cole when he just won the NXT Championship? Do you really want to fuck with NXT on purpose? I don't get it. If you call up Adam Cole now, you better have someone on equal level or better to take his spot as leader of Undisputed Era, which right now there isn't in NXT. This move does not make any sense whatsoever. You've called up so many guys and women from NXT. In the first 6 months of this year, you have not even utilized 98% of them on the main roster. You think by now everybody is an established fucking star on the main roster. And here we are talking about Lacey Evans doing nothing on the main roster and getting benefits out of it. Championship matches handed to her. Lars Sullivan is the only guy that is legitimately getting TV time out of all the call-ups in his class outside of Lacey Evans. Nikki Cross is starting to get TV time now, but what does it really mean? It's a directionless fucking method with Nikki Cross. Heavy Machinery, Ricochet, 50-50 booking is killing him on the main roster. God knows what he's thinking, you know? Triple H, please, can I go back down to NXT? He's going to be the next Tyler Breeze on Monday Night Raw. Aleister Black is trapped in a fucking promo room. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking by keeping this guy in a fucking room, captive like a prisoner, and you're not utilizing him. Meanwhile, he's one of the best fucking talents in all of the company. How you fuck up Aleister Black? I don't understand that. The guy was lighting Raw and SmackDown up with Ricochet. Ricochet moves to Raw, Aleister Black moves to SmackDown, and they lock him behind a fucking promo door, talking gibberish. Now, unless Aleister Black's first feud is Bray Wyatt, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's waiting for someone to come knock on his door. You better be waiting for Triple H to come knock on the fucking door and take you back down to NXT, because clearly Vince McMahon ain't doing shit with you. Everybody on the main roster that made the jump from NXT has been wasted. And here you are, wanting the Undisputed Era, so you mean to tell me you wanna severely weaken NXT by wasting these guys away on the main roster? If anyone is needed more, it's not Undisputed Era, it's Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler is an easy transition. It's like a fucking Lego piece, that final Lego piece to fit onto the fucking spot it needs to go in to complete your big Lego. Right? Fits perfectly like a puzzle piece. Shayna Baszler is needed on the main roster because the legitimacy of the women's division on Raw and SmackDown is horrendous right now. Ever since Ronda Rousey went away, WWE caring about the women's division also went along with it. Shayna Baszler is easy. You plug her right into that Ronda Rousey role. She brings legitimacy. She's better than Ronda Rousey. She might not have the name value, but she's certainly a lot better than Ronda Rousey. And man, I would love to see Shayna Baszler tear it up on the main roster. There's no way you can fuck up that woman on Raw and SmackDown. I think WWE main roster needs someone more in the likes of Shayna Baszler than they do the Undisputed Era. Ridiculous to even think of. First of all, again, both of them are champions. Baszler more than likely will, I keep saying this, more than likely is going to lose this championship this year. And a main roster call-up for her is absolutely overdue. Adam Cole, I guess they wanted him to have a taste of the World Championship. Having him drop the title to Matt Riddle is my prediction. I could definitely see that happening. And then we'll talk about where WWE is in August, at the end of August. I doubt anything's going to change dramatically, but if it was up to me, nobody would get called up, and WWE should learn how to use the fucking people they have now that they called up, instead of taking more, and intentionally trying to ruin Triple H's vision in NXT, because that's what it boils down to. They want to take. Triple H creates, Vince kills, and then they laugh, ha 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 ha, who do you have now? That's the way it goes. That's the way I see it. And until things change on the main roster, I will always think that way. Speaking of the Undisputed Era, I have news on Bobby Fish and why he came out in an arm sling at the end of TakeOver 25. Bobby Fish went to the ring at the end of TakeOver to celebrate with Undisputed Era and Adam Cole after he just won the NXT Championship. It was a very happy moment for the Undisputed Era, but fans couldn't help but notice that Fish's arm was in a sling. He had a close call with an injury. He recently just came back from injury, but Fish was able to work a big ladder match at the event, which was absolutely a train wreck in the best possible way. Not if you're Kyle O'Reilly, who had lacerations physically from the ladder. When he walked to the ring wearing a sling, some fans were nervous that something went wrong once again. PW Insider reports that Fish had his arm in a sling simply as a precautionary measure. He was banged up. His shoulder and arm were banged up during the ladder match, but nothing to the extent of him missing time. The belief is that everyone else came out relatively unscathed, but they want to wait and see how everyone is feeling this week due to the nature of the match. And I know WWE tonight or tomorrow, probably tonight I think it is, that they'll be filming for the next 4 weeks of the next 4 weeks of TV tapings at Full Sail. So Bobby Fish, not hurt, just a precautionary measure, and it did look good visually, seeing him in a sling, and after what he went through, why the fuck wouldn't he? Him and O'Reilly, everybody in that match earned their paycheck, so Bobby Fish is okay, according to PW Insider and Mike Johnson. What is not okay is WWE changing the name of Eric Bugenhagen, man. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? WWE changes several NXT superstars' names. Trevor Lee, Jesse Elaban, Adrian Jaoud, Luke Menzies, and Eric Bugenhagen all had name changes. WWE often changes talents' names when they join developmental because they like to own and trademark their own names. People like Samoa Joe and Ricochet, Keith Lee, they were lucky to keep their names from the indies because they were already well established. Here, WWE is doing it more for the reasons that I just mentioned because they like to own and trademark their own names. Now, Trevor Lee is now going by the name of Cameron Grimes. I guess I could get used to it. Cameron Grimes, I obviously prefer Trevor Lee a little bit better, but Cameron Grimes is his new name. Jesse Elaban is now known as Jesse Kamea. Don't know what the name change for that one really means, but it is what it is. Adrian Jaoud is now known as Arturo Ruas. Luke Menzies is now named Ridge Holland. The Ridge. Ridge.com/script for 10% off. Use code SCRIPT at checkout. You like that, right? Yeah, I know. And my boy Eric Bugenhagen is now known as Rick Bugs. But also, I heard with Eric Bugenhagen, he's getting a complete makeover, which would be terrible. If the mustache is gone, I'm going to be pissed. If the air guitar is gone, and the theme music is gone, and him drumming in the fucking middle of the ring is gone, I'm going to be pissed, man, because the guy was fucking over. The guy was over. Charisma that could fucking fill an entire Raw roster is Eric Bugenhagen. Why? Why do you do this to me, NXT? Why? Hopefully it's not a complete makeover and Rick Boogs is going to just be a slight alteration to what we've seen. And not what we usually see on his YouTube channel. I hope. We'll see what happens. But WWE changed all of their names, and that is the list of names that went under the axe for WWE in NXT. Moving on here, man. Matt Riddle getting big support backstage in WWE. The original bro. Matt Riddle, bro. Matt Riddle. NXT Takeover. Unbelievable match with Roderick Strong. Probably one of the best matches in WWE all year. He's known to bring it every time, and he might be a huge moneymaker for WWE in a very, very, very short while. Brad Shepard said on the Oh You Didn't Know podcast that Matt Riddle has a growing fan base in a place where it really, really, really matters. In the WWE office at Stamford, Connecticut. That's fucking awesome. Matt Riddle, he says, and I quote, Matt Riddle's getting support at the office. I'm told they dig him. He's calling out Brock Lesnar, and he's calling out Brock Lesnar on his own. It's not planned. It's not a planned storyline. But he does have a growing following in the office, I'm told, outside of the NXT bubble. End quote. We will have to see how far Matt Riddle's star will rise in the WWE. But if he continues doing what he's doing, obviously he is on his way to being exactly what we all think he could be. And that is a face for this company for years to come. The one thing here is that the Brock Lesnar stuff and calling out Brock Lesnar and wanting to retire Brock Lesnar is all done on his own. And that's amazing. Because if he continues doing what he's doing, and he already has a huge fan base in Titan Tower, who knows? Who knows? His first match on the main roster may be against Brock Lesnar at a WrestleMania. And he might have the opportunity to retire Brock Lesnar, and WWE will bestow that upon him. And you want an instant star? That's how you do it. It's not a planned storyline. It's not something that Vince told him to do. It's not something Triple H told him to do. By him carrying himself the way he has been, it may lead him to greener pastures here, and something that I think we all want to see, him retiring Brock Lesnar. I think that's fucking awesome, man. Matt Riddle is definitely one of the best that they have right now. He is, in my eyes, the next NXT champion. You see the way the dominoes are falling. It went from Gargano, it went from Ciampa to Gargano to Cole to Matt Riddle. That's the next in line. I see it that way. I don't see anybody else taking that spot, and with what Matt Riddle has done work-wise, I would be very shocked if it's not him taking that World Championship in Toronto. And after the match that they had on NXT TV, having them in the main event duplicate that or try to outdo what they did in a TakeOver main event, my God, man. My God, we are going to be in for a treat. But it's nice to see that Matt Riddle and all the reasons that he didn't get signed the first time to WWE are in the past. And WWE is now, of course, seeing the potential that Matt Riddle does possess. I'm happy for him. I can't wait to see what they do. Again, I say this like it's impossible, but give Vince McMahon the impossible and he'll make it the possible. How they could fuck this guy up, I don't know. But I say that a lot, and WWE always proves me wrong. So Matt Riddle getting big support backstage in WWE. He continues doing what he's doing. He's going to be on his way to being a face of this company for years to come. Vince McMahon. Speaking of the old man, what was he doing during NXT Takeover 25? A lot of fans get nervous during a few matches at NXT Takeover. Usually because they are hard-hitting, and a lot of people were nervous this time around following Takeover because they seen physically what these wrestlers were doing to try and showcase their talents to the world in response to All Elite Wrestling. But they should be really doing that because Vince McMahon is watching, but he's not watching. They're doing it for the sake of competition, not for the sake of the boss. So what was Vince McMahon doing during NXT TakeOver 25, being that Bridgeport, Connecticut is only 30 minutes from Greenwich? He did not even watch the show. Despite running WWE under his thumb and all the decisions and creative go through him, Vince McMahon was not at TakeOver, and he did not watch the show. I wonder what he was doing instead. He was probably tickling the balls of a certain beaver while he was gnawing on some wood outside on a brisk summer night. Nice cool chill in the air outside by the fire pit. Oh, Vince! That's what he was doing. Vince, a little harder, please. Please. I don't know how Vince McMahon is not watching tape. Look, there you go. A man out of touch. A man who does not care about professional wrestling because it's not cool. He's worried about the sports entertainment. He's worried about taking that sweet Saudi money from the Saudis on Friday. That show, I read somewhere this afternoon, is making 5 times more than WrestleMania 35. How awful is that? It's not going away anytime soon, folks. In fact, when the 8 years is up and their contract is up, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another 10 years because of the money WWE is making. They certainly need it because as the revenue goes up, the ratings are coming down and the product is getting worse and worse. Why Vince McMahon wasn't watching TakeOver, I don't know. He's a fucking fool. And you figured that you're the CEO of the company and Triple H, your son-in-law, is grooming the fucking future of your company. You want to see what the fuck he's doing. But I think he doesn't watch because he knows what Triple H is doing is better than what he's doing, and he doesn't want to be shown up. So he secludes himself, he buries himself away from all that is good, and remains in a bubble of fucking garbage that we usually get on Monday and Tuesday. Because if he watched it, then he would slightly get an influence on what to do, and he doesn't want to be shown up because he's Vince McMahon. That's my thoughts on that, but to each his own. If Vince doesn't watch, his loss. His loss. That's why he doesn't know what to do with half of these fucking guys, because he doesn't know who they are. Word of mouth. Oh, I got this guy. Oh, I got this guy. Oh, she's great. Calls them up. He don't know what to do with them because he didn't know who the fuck they were from stage 1. Now you're at stage 10, and they're fully developed, ready to go. They're ready to make you money. They're ready to fucking give you 5-star matches. What the fuck do I do with this guy? He's 5'8", 180 pounds. What the fuck am I going to do with him? He looks like a miniature Shawn Michaels. What the fuck am I going to do with him? I will feed him to Roman. I will put him on 205 Live and bury him for 4 years. Then maybe we'll call him up, and maybe he'll compete for the 24/7 title. The fuck out of here. Are you serious? Anyway, fuck Vince McMahon and fuck him not watching TakeOver. His loss. Speaking of TakeOver, why was Tommaso Ciampa brought in for the TakeOver 25 pre-show? Now, I was happy to see him. I can't wait for our champ to come back, the greatest sports entertainer of all time. He was there, says PW Insider, because they wanted him to be a part of the 25th TakeOver event. Triple H wanted him there because you couldn't keep Ciampa out since he's contributed so much to the success of past TakeOver specials. This guy was legitimately Mr. TakeOver alongside Johnny Gargano. Having him not there would have been an absolute disrespectful slap in the face. At this time, there's no timetable for Ciampa's return, but he will continue to work hard and make sure that his time away from the ring is as minimal as possible. Ciampa looked great. He was in great spirits. He already says he has his eyes on Goldie already. So why not? He'll be back sooner rather than later. And if you guys are following him on Instagram, you see the work that he's putting in just by the 60-second clips that he's posting on Instagram. Can't wait for him to come back. I said it, and I'm going to say it again. NXT's great in its current state. Lots of talent. But you know that something is missing, man. And Ciampa is that something. We need him back on television. They're doing well without him. But, man, with him back, 100% back at full power. He is so great and did so great in the time that he was given in 2018. I can't wait to see what he does coming back. I hope he's 100% healthy and ready to go. That brand is going to fucking be right back to where it was last year with Ciampa returning to the fold. Speaking of TakeOver, again, the Velveteen Dream tweets out AEW Wrestling and deletes the tweet almost immediately upon it going live on Twitter. I have a screenshot here taken from Ringside News. If you don't believe me, look at that. It's not Photoshop, folks. It's not Photoshopped. He says, after his match with Tyler Breeze, follow that, and tweeted at AEW Wrestling, #Dream. Now, I understand the Dream is playing up to the gimmick. I understand the Dream is very proud of his work. The Dream is one of the best things that WWE has right now. And again, I'm going to say it foolishly. How the fuck you can mess him up is impossible. The guy has more charisma than both Raw and SmackDown rosters. But for him to do that, I get it. You're proud of what you do. You're proud of what you did at TakeOver. But we have to be serious for a second. We're going to come back down off Cloud 9 here, man. We got to level you out. The match with Tyler Breeze was great for what it was. It was great to see Tyler Breeze back. It was the best match that he's had in years. And it was probably the biggest match of his career. And I'm happy that Triple H has officially confirmed that Tyler Breeze is back in NXT. I could definitely see him adding a lot of value to that brand. But we got to be serious for a second. The match with Matt Riddle was better than what we seen with Tyler Breeze. The match with Aleister Black was better than what we seen with Tyler Breeze. The match with Ciampa was unbelievable, better than the match we seen with Tyler Breeze. Now, yes, AEW wasn't a thing. It was a thing in April, but we didn't see him tweet out during that. That would have been an appropriate time to say that. But I think this was merely done in the heat of competition. And I'm all for having another rival promotion put on a show like they did with Double or Nothing, and that inspire you to go out there and be your very best. I understand that. I think that's great. But something like that is going to get you in a lot of fucking trouble. Seriously. I know that wasn't wanted. I know that wasn't approved of. I know he said it simply out of confidence, because he's confident in his ability to deliver and always deliver. He's getting better each and every single time we see him at these takeovers. I'm fucking happy for him. And knowing where he came from, it's unbelievable. But you got to be careful about what you're tweeting out. Shit like that could land you in hot water with WWE management. It's not like a Sami Zayn situation where WWE purposely scripted Sami Zayn to mention and name drop the initials AEW. This is not one of those situations. This was merely done because the Velveteen Dream is young, he's slightly immature, and yes, he's proud of his work, and he wanted to send out a message. Clearly a message that we know it's going to be more of a competition between them and AEW instead of Vince and AEW. I get it. I don't want to see him get in trouble for some stupidity. That's why he deleted it. Now, could it have been something in which he just wanted to garner attention and he put it up and then quickly deleted it, playing up to his gimmick? I don't know. I doubt it. I honestly thought it was done in the heat of the moment, and he realized maybe this is not good for me, and somebody screenshotted it apparently, and maybe nobody in WWE management is thinking too much of it because it was gone just as quick as it was put up. But I don't want him to get in trouble over something fucking stupid, and that was that. After TakeOver was over, Velveteen Dream tweeted out that several fans reacted to it on Twitter. All while the responses are still up, Dream deleted the tweet within an hour of posting it. In fact, Dream went even further as he continued to delete everything else on his Twitter account except for one post about his official merch being available on the WWE shop. Now, I don't know what happened there. Dream got some kind of message possibly backstage saying that the tweet is inappropriate and they might have to take it down. Or perhaps he received a message from someone in WWE telling him to take the tweet down because they didn't need to be daring AEW to top anything that they do at this juncture. Certainly, they don't need to be verbally expressing that. I think WWE did a very good job at showing up AEW by just what they did in the ring on Saturday night. We don't need any extra fuel to the fire. That's what I think WWE is trying to relay here. It's immaturity on Dream's part. I don't want to see him get in trouble for stupidity like this because the stronger that AEW gets, you're going to get in trouble more and more and more every time it happens. And I don't want to see that happen. So Dream tweets out AEW, deletes it immediately. Let the in-ring work and let NXT do what they've always been doing. And they do it as better as anybody else. That's all you need to do. Go in there, do what you do. Show us why you are the best brand in the United States. And you don't need to do these cheap shots at AEW. Tweet at AEW. Follow that. They know. They know. And if they don't know, they're stupid. It's not NXT they have a problem with. It's apparently Triple H and whatever personal resentment that's there between he and Cody and the Rhodes family and the McMahon family. It's much deeper than this. But I want you to use what they do as fuel to better yourself. Because clearly that show was a huge response to what Double or Nothing was. I felt it. I don't need to know. I don't need to know verbally from somebody. You just felt it. Those first two matches spoke volumes about that statement. Finally, guys, with the news of NXT Takeover coming to Cardiff, they are going head-to-head with AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling on the 31st of August. This has caused quite the bit of stir in the wrestling land on Twitter. New Japan is running a show in London on August 31st. This will run head-to-head with WWE's NXT Takeover Cardiff event. There will be no time zone difference at all either. At least this will make it easy for American fans to watch both Takeover and All Out because they're not in the same area, and the time difference will be you can watch Takeover first and then watch All Out in the same evening. Dave Meltzer expanded on this subject during Wrestling Observer Live. He says this, and I quote, New Japan's going to be running the Copper Box in London, which will be head-to-head with WWE UK in Cardiff, Wales. I don't know. I mean, Wales is obviously not London. It's going to be interesting, though, because the New Japan show has 6,100 tickets sold, and WWE, with the UK show, it's like 1,300. Nowhere close to 6,000, end quote. Meltzer continued to say how interesting it is that WWE is going to head with a show, or head-to-head with a show, that is already 6,000 tickets deep with the New Japan show. This is especially true if WWE did nail down the August 31st date before WrestleMania, as Triple H claimed in his post-takeover media call. Now, I don't know how legit that statement is from Triple H. I honestly think it's just a complete cover-up to give you guys the political answer, meanwhile, mask their fuck up. WWE changed their TakeOver New York date because they did not want against a sold-out MSG Supercard event. That didn't seem to factor in their decision to continue with NXT TakeOver Cardiff as planned. Now, I don't know if you guys watched that Triple H special on the network following TakeOver. I did, and he was in a boardroom going over the script for NXT TakeOver New York, and they touted that the TakeOver New York special had 1.1 or 1.2 million made by just the gate alone. And I honestly think with TakeOver in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and the fact that it did so well on its own, I don't know why Triple H is afraid to run head-to-head with the shows that are rivaling WWE. If it happens again, if I'm Triple H, I'm not going to be afraid to run against a New Japan. I'm not. Especially during a WrestleMania weekend when the majority of the fans are there for WWE-related events. I don't know why you would take Triple H and his word on, oh, well, we moved it because we gave it to the fans. We wanted the fans to experience both of the shows. Are you fucking kidding me? This is a WWE guy. No matter how much we love what he's doing, you're going to believe that bullshit. We want the fans to experience both shows. I don't buy that for 1 second. I don't buy the fact that they moved the Cardiff show to the 31st, or announced it rather, on the 31st. I don't believe it. Oh, we had it in the bank since before WrestleMania. Sure you did. Sure you did. And I got news on that as well. So if I'm Triple H, and if I'm going head-to-head with somebody, I'm not going to be afraid anymore. NXT is good enough to be on its own to compete against any other promotion in the world. You should know that by now. And I'm sure he knows it. I don't know what the hesitation is. Oh yeah, we did it for the fans. Bullshit. Now, Triple H says that NXT UK is in competition with NXT and not AEW All Out. I read a story that WWE had spies in the ticket box offices in that particular area of London for the New Japan show. They got back to WWE saying that, oh, well, there's only like 2,000 tickets sold for this New Japan show. So Triple H at that time and WWE representatives at that time were like, I guess we can capitalize on people here for our show. If they're not going to go there, and Meltzer said that London is not Cardiff, London is obviously not Wales, we're going to capitalize on people wanting to come to our show instead of going to New Japan. So they had spies. Legitimately, they had spies monitoring the ticket sales for New Japan Pro Wrestling. But the WWE spy in WWE didn't know that New Japan was actually being sold in not only one box office, but several box offices that accumulated to the 6,100 sold in ticket sales. So when the spy gave the WWE their information, they were actually wrong, and WWE went ahead based on this spy's information, and they announced AEW, or they announced the same day as AEW on August 31st, and the same day as New Japan. So someone fucked up. Someone fucked up. Then Triple H goes and says, we're not competing with AEW, we're not competing with anybody else, we are merely competing with our own brand in NXT. And I don't believe that for 1 second. We had this date in the vault before WrestleMania. Sure you did. But you wait till now, after AEW announces their show, to announce that you're doing the same fucking day? I understand there's time zone differences, but whatever, man. Whatever. Whatever makes you sleep easier at night. August 31st, Chicago, Sears Center. I'll be there. All out. TakeOver 25. They announced Cardiff. August 31st. The event will start 3 p.m., so it is likely going to be wrapping up as AEW All Out just starts the pre-show. During a post-TakeOver media call, Triple H was asked about why these dates conflict with each other. He had a very interesting response because apparently WWE has known about the date and the building since before WrestleMania, but they waited until June 1st to let everyone know what the plan was. Which, if you knew already, why didn't you announce it before Double or Nothing? So it makes it look like that AEW is trying to compete with NXT, which kind of correlates with the spy story and kind of lends credibility and legitimacy to that. They waited because they wanted to get an earful and an eyeful of what New Japan was doing as far as ticket sales go. So when they thought they had the jump on New Japan, they announced, but they got the wrong information. Pretty petty and pretty pathetic of WWE to be monitoring ticket sales. This is what you get for not doing what you need to do and monitoring your own brand and worrying about everybody else. It's sad. If you're worried less about what everybody else is doing, then A, we would respect you a little bit more, or the WWE, I should say, and you wouldn't be in the position that you're in right now. I will just say this to everybody in here, contrary to what I'm sure the buzz will be. The date of August 31st is a date we've had for a very long time. Why didn't you announce it? You could have announced it 2 weeks ago. But you waited till this takeover to announce the takeover. Yes, I understand that as far as marketing purposes go, but you could have made an announcement on social media. It would have been the same thing, probably even bigger effect. That building has been booked with us in Cardiff. Geez, long before WrestleMania 35. He's pretty much digging himself a deeper hole with this explanation. We just hadn't announced it yet because it wasn't the right time. Why wasn't it the right time? You don't want to announce something for a brand 6 months out or whatever. At least I don't see it that way. You didn't have to wait 6 months. You could have announced it whenever. You could have came on Twitter and announced that we have a takeover in Cardiff on August 31st, 2 weeks before Double or Nothing. He says tonight was the right night to do it. It had nothing to do with anybody else, to be honest. We will take place live in primetime in the UK and be on the afternoon here in the US. So it is what it is. I am real excited for the UK brand of NXT. I feel like it's going back in time and kind of being in the beginning where this was. And if you look at the talent that's there and the talent that's coming out of there, it's spectacular. I think there is some competition within NXT, the NXT header itself. So while we talk about statements, I know the UK brand in Cardiff on the 31st is going to be looking to make a statement as well. And they're going to want to be able to walk out of that building in Cardiff, look across the pond, and say, follow that. So I would expect a statement to be made there as well. Now, the one thing I will know, or the one thing I do know before we even get to August 31st, is that everybody on that show is going to bring it more so than what we've seen here for TakeOver 25. If you are competing on the same day in a time zone difference, and you're legitimately going on before All Out airing in Chicago, you don't think everybody on that show is going to fucking break their back for Triple H and go out there balls to the wall and give you the best fucking takeover that you've ever seen? That's the only thing I'm excited about this. I'm excited for the takeover. I'm excited for the NXT UK brand, but I'm most excited about what that is going to do, what the spirit of competition is going to do, knowing that they got Double or Nothing out of the way, and now All Out, with the buzz that Double or Nothing has created for All Out, and what people are going to be talking about with All Out. You think NXT UK is going to want to go under the radar, man? They're going to make sure that they are the one thing that is talked about more so than anything that entire weekend, man. The spirit of competition is a beautiful thing, but Triple H, clearly, what it boils down to is he had to give the biggest, most bullshit political answer possible to the media and to everybody listening at home after TakeOver, because he really can't go out there live in front of everybody and say, we fucked up and we booked the same day as All Out and the same day as New Japan. Got to give you a political answer because he can't really make himself look bad. It is what it is. Either way you look at it, that weekend is going to be a mega hub for everybody that loves pro wrestling. We're going to talk about some of the matches that happened on NXT tonight, man, but I want to talk about the Ridge. Ridge.com/script. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. You know, one of the more difficult things for me to do is go out and shop for a wallet. I'm not the type of guy that's going to go out and buy a designer wallet and spend all this types of money on something with some stupid brand name logo on it. I'm not that type of guy. I usually go into the mall. I walk into Hot Topic. Oh, this Legend of Zelda wallet looks cool. Oh, this Metallica wallet looks cool. Oh, this Super Mario wallet looks cool. I'm that type of guy because it's very indicative of me and my personality and my interests. Now, I want you guys to look in your wallet. Better yet, I want you to go out for an afternoon with your father, and I want you to take a very close look at his wallet, because I know I did the same thing. I know my dad did the same thing. Look in your wallet. What do you have in your wallet right now? What does your dad have in his wallet right now? Guarantee you have old receipts for when you took the wife out for dinner 3 months ago for your anniversary. Guarantee you got old hotel room keys in your wallet. Guarantee you got business cards and contact numbers on some small piece of paper that you don't even remember who they are or where you were when you exchanged this information. You're looking at your dad and you're thinking to yourself, I got to get my dad a new wallet for Father's Day. I present to you, right here on Off the Script, the Ridge Wallet. It was actually created by a father and son team. There's the Father's Day correlation. A father and son team who value reliability in their everyday gear. They're making everyday goods that turn the things that you carry, like backpacks, chargers, wallets, into tools for better living. The flagship product of the Ridge is indeed the Ridge Wallet. It was launched on a Kickstarter in 2013 and now sits in the front pockets of 750,000 men and women, including myself. And I want you guys to think about your fathers on this coming Father's Day. Over 30,000 5-star reviews, and it's more than likely what your dad will love this Father's Day. When he thinks of Father's Day and the gifts that he's gotten, he's going to remember that you got him the Ridge wallets. If he doesn't like it, 45 days you have to return the wallet if he does not like the product. The Ridge wallet was actually started by Daniel Kane and his dad, Paul, proof that the utility of the minimalist wallet can span generations. Now, I want you guys to look closely at the screen that you see right here on Off the Script. You guys can save 10% off today with worldwide free shipping by going to ridge.com/scripts. Once again, that's ridge.com/script. Use the code SCRIPT. Link is down in the description below. There's a lifetime warranty. If your dad does not love it, again, free returns in case he doesn't. It comes in titanium, carbon fiber, aluminum, and over a dozen different styles and colors. I got the titanium because I love it and it feels fantastic. Once again, guys, free worldwide shipping this Father's Day, 10% off, ridge.com/script. NXT tonight, man. Usually nothing more than highlight packages. Maybe an interview here and there that you might not have seen on TakeOver, but nothing more than highlight packages with a few matches sprinkled in. These matches really don't mean much of anything, and it usually gets the talent out there in front of a TakeOver crowd to probably get them ready for when their time is to be on a TakeOver card legitimately. The lamest, Kona Reeves. The lamest. He says he's the finest, we think he's the lamest. But I got to give credit where credit is due, man. Kona Reeves is progressing, and I like to see that. He was in the ring with Keith Lee, but he's progressing nonetheless. I mentioned this once before, man. The aesthetics of the slight change in his ring attire. He went from the black trunks to the white pants. Or I think last week, well, not last week, but last time we seen him, he was wearing black leather pants. That change goes such a long way, man. Miles better than whatever he was wearing before. It's just a better overall presentation. Keith Lee, I love Keith Lee. The size of Keith Lee, the athleticism of Keith Lee, the fucking ferocity and the intensity of Keith Lee is unmatched in NXT, man. A guy that size doing the shit that he does is fucking downright scary. This was Kona Reeves' best match. Everything was so fluid. Everything was nicely done. There was a nice Uranagi spot. Kona Reeves played up his heel tendencies, playing possum after a knee injury, quote-unquote. There was also a spot at the end of the match where he kind of tricked Keith Lee. I think Keith Lee had hold of a Greco-Roman knuckle lock, and Kona Reeves wisely dove through the ropes to the outside and dragged Keith Lee face first into the middle rope. I like that type of shit, man. That shows the mentality of a young superstar, and it shows us that he knows what he's doing in the ring. Reeves was in control after the playing possum spot. He delivered a huge Uranagi. Beautiful Uranagi on Keith Lee. Keith Lee tried to fight back after that, but it was not enough. He got that Uranagi 2 counts. Morrow really made this believable on commentary. After that, Lee just woke the fuck up, man. It was like the Incredible Hulk, legitimately, and Mauro Ranallo did mention that on commentary. Lee, after the Uranagi kicks out, Lee shoulder tackled him halfway across the ring, put him on his shoulders. Instead of doing that huge power bomb, which I love, man, that is just so visually pleasing. That big pop-up power bomb, or that sit-out power bomb, rather, that Keith Lee does. I don't know if this is his new finishing move, but Keith Lee put him in a fireman carries position into a Death Valley driver splash, and that was it. Keith Lee was the winner after that, and Kona Reeves was going nowhere. He was completely motionless after that. Keith Lee wins in a pretty decent match, and in my opinion, the best match of Kona Reeves' young WWE NXT career. I want to see more of Keith Lee, man. Start moving Keith Lee into that North American Championship position. I think we'll be good to go for Keith Lee. We had Shayna Baszler. Highlights of that were shown in her match with Io Shirai. We had clips of the tag team match, that ladder match, which was a train wreck. Different camera angles shown for that match. Backstage, I had an interview with Angela Dawkins, says it's about hard work and dedication. And this was a WWE.com exclusive that they saved here for NXT. And Montez Ford, man, I'm so happy for both of those guys. Hopefully they have a decent run with those tag team championships. Tyler Breeze and Velveteen Dream, they showed clips of their match. Post-match, there was an exclusive interview with Tyler Breeze. He says the match could have gone either way, but after the match, they had the fans believing that both superstars put on a great match, and he believes that there is a mutual respect for one another. He believes that Dream respects him, and Tyler Breeze says he respects the Velveteen Dream. Now that he's back in NXT, which he stated he is back full-time in NXT, Breeze says he knows things have changed since his first run, but lets everyone know that he is back and ready to go on NXT. The other match that we had, which was the last match and the main event of this particular NXT episode, Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair, something that we've seen twice already. This is the rubber match of this little series of matches between both women. Really nothing special. If you watched their previous two matches, nothing really was different compared to those two matches, except that this was in front of a TakeOver crowd, and those were done at Full Sail University. Something that I don't really understand here is the outcome. Mia Yim wins with a finishing move, protect your neck, 1, 2, 3. She cried at the end and was very happy that she beat Bianca Belair, but I don't understand why Bianca Belair lost this match and why they're pushing Mia Yim over Bianca Belair, unless this means Bianca Belair is ready to get buried on the main roster, because there really is nothing left for Bianca Belair to do. It seems like she's not even in title contention. We got Io, we got Candice, which I'm assuming is going to be placed in that situation as well, and Mia Yim. Mauro Ranallo said that with this win, she puts herself in contention for an NXT Women's Championship. So where does that leave Bianca Belair? Is she just going to be floating around doing a lot of nothing, or are they going to demote her to the main roster? Because we all know what happened to Ember Moon on the main roster. And I would fucking be absolutely livid if Bianca Belair ends up like an Ember Moon. We don't need that. The woman is far too talented and far too special to be sitting around doing a lot of nothing. Mia Yim wins here. Belair with a belly-to-back suplex. Flips Belair all the way over, lands on her stomach. I think that's the alley-oop move that she used to do for a finishing move. Belair looks for her powerbomb finish, and Yim reverses that into a guillotine. Belair able to power out. Yim with a back kick, penalty kick, charges right into a back elbow. Belair leaps off the second rope, gets a boot to the face. Yim off the second rope, hits protect your neck. That modified code breaker off the rope, 1, 2, 3. Mia Yim beats Bianca Belair via pinfall, and that's it. I don't really understand that ending, but I hope I'm wrong on the Bianca Belair call-up to the main roster. Kushida and Drew Gulak. They had a match last week in which Kushida beat Drew Gulak. Backstage, they interviewed Drew Gulak before the show went off the air, and he says, what happened with Kushida was a fluke. He says he wants to show everybody who truly is the best submission specialist. He continues saying Kushida ended up taking the easy way out by pinning his shoulders to the mat. He wants another crack, but this time next week in a submission match. That should be pretty entertaining, so we'll see what happens. They had a great submission, well, somewhat of a submission match on Wednesday last week. If that's your type of match, God bless you. I'm not really into that type of deal, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully they do a better outing this second time. Legit submission match, so you got to tap out here, and the loser, we'll see what happens. I doubt Kushita's going to end up losing so early in his run, but it's a great situation to be in if you're Kushita. They're already giving you a mild storyline here with one of the best in WWE in Drew Gulak, so that is going to be a submission match next week on NXT. They ended by showing highlights of Adam Cole defeating Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship at TakeOver, and they're promising a celebration for the Undisputed Era and Adam Cole on next week's NXT. I'm getting out of here, guys. Usually these shows are not very informative. That's why I save the news and rumors for what I do here on Wednesday following a TakeOver, man. But if you enjoyed that, let me know what you think down below. Let me know what you think of The Dream calling out AEW. Let me know what you think of Adam Cole and Shayna Baszler being called up to the main roster. Let me know if you think Matt Riddle is going to be the new NXT champion come SummerSlam weekend. I'm getting out of here. Hit that thumbs up, guys. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on both Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And make sure you guys check out all the other videos that you might have missed this week, including SmackDown Live and Monday Night Raw as of this week. I'll see you guys on Friday for episode 277. Super Showdown! Super Showdown Friday. We'll talk about it right here on Off the Script. Until then, guys, take care, and I'll see you right back here for Friday's episode, detailing and highlighting and reviewing Super Showdown in Jeddah. I'll talk to you guys later.